Alright, hello everyone, welcome back to the Base Podcast. We are once again joined by our lovely hosts, Redneck, Kais, David, and myself, Croston. You know the drill. We come on here, we banter, we rant, we ramble about nonsense. And, lads, let's kick it off like usual. What are we drinking on today?
I am drinking on some. We'll change it up. Four Roses.
Oh, that's a good choice. Good choice.
Mm-hmm.
Kais, what about you?
Definitely not the same thing as last week. The Michter's Kentucky Straight Rye whiskey.
Okay, so Michter's rye whiskey. Okay. David?
You know, I gotta have that Mountain Dew.
He's doing the do.
He's doing the do.
Always doing the do.
Alright, and I went way out left field. I got me a punchy.
What?
Seltzer.
Oh, God.
Punchy. From...
Those
This
are the ones that are
is
pretty
Lost
good,
Story.
right?
Yeah, these are really good.
Yeah, those
Alright.
are really good.
So, I'm not a big seltzer
of
person in
seltzers at
general.
all.
Diamond wasn't.
Like, White Claws fucking
Great.
suck. But Trulies are pretty good because they actually have... One thing I've noticed with seltzers is, like, they lack a lot of flavors.
Please sponsor
They're
us.
subtle.
Truly
Punchy,
is
you can
bomb.
sponsor
And
us.
then this is it's an Arkansas one, Lost 40, but they have like their regular just like fruit flavored line, and then they have the snow cone line. This is the snow cone one. So this one's
Just
fuzzy
saying.
navel.
You want to
but
give us free truffle fries?
I'm just saying, if
40,
Yes.
my
Those
birthday's coming up, when you're doing the whole birthday box thing, maybe me want to throw some of that in there.
I might. They're pretty good, man. This fuzzy navel tastes like an alcoholic snow cone, man. You're laughing, but I'm enjoying.
He
They're pretty
enjoys
good.
drinking fuzzy navels.
You're damn right.
Get you some bourbon barrel aged love honey.
I know. I should have drank one of those. I think I have one left. That's what I should have drank. But anywho. This week's a wild topic. Really, really wild. So I'm sure as many of you watching at home know, there are some wild-ass conspiracy theories out there, ranging through all reaches of the universe. We're gonna avoid anything weird and political, because no one wants to listen to that bullshit. You hear enough of that in your everyday life. Instead, we're focusing on the more unique. We've all brought to the table a conspiracy theory, and no, we're not believers in these or anything, unless one of the guys is gonna surprise me.
I mean, yeah.
Hey, fuck you, man. Maybe I am.
But, you know, we're gonna have some banter.
I mean, a couple of these aren't too actually that far fetched.
Well, yeah. I mean, only a couple of them. So, the first two are fucking wild. The last two, maybe. But
possible. Maybe possible.
I'll open us up. Have any of you heard of the lizard people conspiracy theory?
Yes.
Honestly, no.
No?
Yes. I've
Okay.
heard of it.
So I'm going to read this from the wiki. It's the reptilian conspiracy theory. Reptilians, also called reptoids, lizard people, archons, reptiloids, saurians, or draconians, are supposed reptilian humanoids, which play a prominent role in fantasy science fiction and conspiracy theories.
UFOlogy.
Like,
Yeah.
I've seen that stuff on video games, but, like, I've never
So this,
thought it was...
and one thing that you're not gonna understand, it has some political implication, not in the sense of like we're arguing for a political side. There is theory within that the government and the world in general, this almost touches on some weird Illuminati-esque shit, is run by reptilian humanoids in disguise as people, and all the billionaires and really powerful politicians and stuff are just reptilian overlords that are ruling us. Apparently, there was a 2008 Senate election in Minnesota between comedian commentator Al Franken and the incumbent
Mhm.
senator, and apparently one of the ballots was challenged by the incumbent senator Norm Coleman, uh, because it included a vote for Franken with lizard people written in the space provided for write-in candidates. And yeah, I mean, going beyond that, there's theories that like I said, some of the billionaires are lizard people, and I've never believed in this theory clearly until I watched Mark Zuckerberg's trial uh in the Senate or whatever he had to do, because that man is not human. Maybe he's an alien and not a
Absolutely
lizard.
not human.
But yeah, Mark Zuckerberg,
Could be.
if you're watching, sponsor me and don't feast upon my innards in my sleep, you reptilian fuck. So, does anyone have anything to contribute to this one?
On
Should
the
have said
Mark
that him and
Zuckerberg
YouTube are
thing,
together.
like when he's doing his like metaverse announcement thing, he just like
Dude.
makes awkward fucking pauses
Yes.
and like turns and looks, and it's something is different about that man. Let's just say that.
Mark Zuckerberg listening to
Yeah,
us right
yeah.
now, like, found me. They have found me out. So, yeah, Redneck, you seem like you were somewhat familiar with it.
Yeah, I remember hearing about this.
Apparently, a poll of Americans in 2013 indicated that 4% of registered voters believe in the lizard
Yeah.
people theory. I am impressed that 4% of people that vote believe there are lizard people running the country. I wouldn't say lizard people. I mean, corrupt
Oh, I
people,
did read
sure.
something on that.
But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
reptilians? Reptilians is
No.
a stretch.
I did read something on people believing that there were actual presidents in the past that were reptilian.
Jimmy Carter, straight up lizard. That man is too happy.
Like, there's a
Yeah.
lot of stuff out there, I guess, for this, because, like, looking at all the info on it.
We opened Dale's
Oh,
third
there's-
eye to
there's
a
a
weird
lot.
fucking world of
remember
lizard
when we were
people.
on,
Welcome, Dale, to my world of crazy conspiracies, my dude.
When we were on Reddit a lot, there's
Oh
always been some
god.
lizard people shit.
Yeah. A lot of it was
Uh,
joking, but
Like
sometimes
some of
they
it was memes. Some of
Right.
it was serious.
some of these people were serious.
Like, a lot of video games, like, based off of, like, you know, myths and legends of, like, Greek, Roman, whatever, like, have this topic in them, like reptilian humans or whatever. Like, there's a lot out there for it, but, like, I've never, like, seen or heard anything around America about it,
Oh,
like,
God,
just normal people, famous people most of the time,
Yeah.
but, just being lizard people.
Yeah, it's worse than you
never
can
heard
imagine.
of, like,
There's a
Hey, he
good
looks like a lizard.
documentary I want to recommend you guys looking up. It's about this stuff. It's called Iron Sky: The Coming Race.
Oh,
Check it. Yes.
is it gonna be some weird shit that I'm gonna feel like I need to watch kitten videos after to clear my conscience?
No. Just like you can go on YouTube, look at the trailer.
Right.
Yeah.
Looking at the wiki here, something that cracked me up. There's some people out with and this was not making a political statement here. It was just at a Trump rally. So no discussion towards either side here, but it says, "Do we really need another reptilian shapeshifter as president?" Saying that anyone besides Trump is a reptilian. I mean, he's clearly not a reptilian. He's like at least 75% orange or grapefruit. But anyways, continuing on from there, I see also evil reptilian kitten eater from another planet was apparently used to refer to then Ontario Liberal Party opposition leader Dalton McGuinty in a press conference disseminated by the Progressive Conservative Party of Ontario. So apparently the lizard people conspiracy theory even runs deep in fucking Canada.
Well, I
Uh-huh.
mean, it's a thing for like even ancient history. They had
Right.
depictions
Right.
of
Right. That's what I was
reptilians,
saying
people,
earlier.
and
Like the myths and legends of
like not necessarily them blending in with society, but in some of these cases, they're the actual rulers and creators of the uh galaxy.
Pyramids,
or
galaxy,
mystic
yes.
Yeah,
beings.
yeah.
The long story
Right.
short, everyone in power is a slee stack in hiding. Got it. Okay.
True. Remember, folks, stay strapped or get clapped.
By the lizards. Get clapped by lizards.
Yeah.
The lizards.
Anyways,
Yeah, by the
mo-
lizards, yeah.
moving on. Our next topic I will let Kai's here introduce. This one is one, I must say, that infuriates me that anyone believes this. I mean, this is wild, but Kai's, this is one that a lot of the viewers are probably going to be familiar with, have heard at some point. And if you believe this, well, you know, it's
I
okay.
mean, you're
I know
it's
life was
a
hard for you, but continue, guys.
I can kind of see it where people just don't trust what they're told. They want to
Okay.
see things to an
Sure.
extent, to an extent, to an extent.
Yeah, to an extent, I can understand that. Yeah.
But flat Earth, you could. People say you can't see it dipping down over the horizon there. Okay, yeah, I understand. Yeah, you can't. You can't trust the pictures of outer space and that kind of stuff. But reading on this topic here, so they believe it's a disc. So, well, I guess everyone has their own depiction. People just,
Right.
think of whatever their imagination will let them. But a consensus is it's a disc. The Arctic Circle's right in the middle, and then everything else goes out beyond it, and then the Antarctica is a big ring on the edge
The old ice wall.
where they think past that ice it just drops off, or some people apparently believe that the ice goes on infinitely throughout the universe, which makes no sense because there's a universe out there that has to stop
Almost like you
somewhere. You'd think it should be running into each other. You could see shit running into each other, but
almost like
but this has been
telescopes
going on
exist.
for very very long time. Um, I can understand the ancient people thinking, well, this my little island here is all there is. Even like before they discovered America, their little islands on this side, they were scared more like it than just not believing. But nowadays, it's kind of hard to understand why someone would actually believe the Earth is flat. I can understand trying to wanting proof or just wanting to play devil's advocate and get provided more truth or more proof. But what is y'all's thinking on this theory?
So I'm gonna go ahead and
What
interject.
Absolute. Go ahead.
Oh, you're fine. Sorry, this one riles me up. It is the biggest crock of bullshit to have ever existed. And if people okay, I get being skeptical. I like the question everything mentality because that's how we learn new
Yeah.
things. At one point, some people did think the earth was truly flat, and that was the consensus of science. But that is because that couldn't be investigated. There were makeshift telescopes, if you will, that eventually led to people determining, hey, these stars keep changing places in the night, and all of these things are rotating. Maybe we're not on this little weird flat disk. Maybe also the sun doesn't rotate around the earth. Also, maybe we're on a globe. But some things that really get me are you can fly in a straight line and go completely around the world to the same place you were, which would not work with this whole disk theory.
with the disc?
You could fly in a plane straight and end up in the same spot. And how can you do that on a disc? You will hit the ice wall if you go straight. Additionally, they're like, they fail to understand that, okay, let's take a ship for an example, the Event Horizon. Why is it that when a ship gets further and further away, let's take a big ship, because obviously the human eye can only see so far, that you start to see less of the ship below, but you can still see upper parts of it. It's almost like once you get far enough, the curvature of the Earth happens to take place, and people are talking about they can't see the curvature of the Earth. Let's put this into perspective. Let's drop an ant onto a basketball even. I mean, that's still not even comparable in size scale, but let's drop an ant onto any large sphere. Things are going to look pretty flat because you can't perceive curvature on something so big when you're such a tiny dot on this thing. You can't see curvature because essentially you're hyper zoomed in on the tiniest spot of this giant globe. And one final thing, because I could rant on this one all night and take up the whole video, because this, I'm a big space nerd, and this one just pisses me off. They already defeat their own argument when they tweet out that the Flat Earth Society has members located all around the globe. They should just slow down and read their own shit, because all around the globe, please read that. I'm going to rest my case because I'm going to get myself riled up, but I need to let you guys go. So, Redneck, you were going to speak. I'm going to let you go, bud.
Oh, I totally fucking forgot what I was gonna say. So
I can go. I can do it. Because I actually agree. I agree completely. I hate this theory. And like you were saying, if you get high enough off the ground, you can kind of see.
Yeah, you ever been in a plane?
Right. Well, no, I have not. But there's like
Oh,
proof of like people who hike, like for example, like Mount Everest and stuff like that. Like there's been people who've like been like, hey, this is what I see. The Earth. You can actually see a little curve in the Earth. And to go along with it, like I was just reading up on it, and like there's much more proof about it being a sphere than it being flat. There's just so much more.
well, you guys remember when, I don't remember the dude's name, but it was Red Bull sponsored. The dude went all the way up to outer space and free dove from fucking outer space, and they live streamed the whole thing.
Yeah.
You could see the curvature of the Earth from his perspective.
Yeah. That's
So there's live stream video proof that certainly was not simulated because people attended that live. And on top of that,
got people saying that was even faked.
I know. The thing that gets me is, you know what? I get not trusting the government because governments all around the world, ours included, have done some shady shit through history. That's fair. However, they always have motive with anything that they do. What motive does the government have for being like, oh yeah, we totally live on a ball instead of a disc, haha? Nervously sweats. I mean, like, what do they get out of that? The world's worst April Fool's joke? I mean, it's totally not April 1st today.
No, it's April 2nd.
No, it's April 1st. Look at your computer. It's April 1st.
Yeah, well, no shit, Sherlock. What's for video's sake, fucker?
Listen, I totally didn't go change shirts and put a hat on to pretend like we didn't batch record this, but right. But anywho, enough of that tangent.
I don't know what you're talking about, sir.
Secant cotangent. Let's move on to next on our list. Was Redneck, and Redneck has a fun topic, a very fun topic. Buddy, let's go ahead with yours.
All right, my conspiracy theory is the UFO conspiracy theories, which are a subset of conspiracy theories which are argue that various governments and political globally are in particular the United States government are suppressing evidence of unidentified flying objects are either controlled by non-human intelligence or built using alien technology. And there's conspiracy theories saying that the government is in cahoots with extraterrestrial visitors despite public disclaimers and all this stuff, that their government talks to them about stuff. This is how we're able to, create an iPhone, or this is how we're able to figure out how to make an electric vehicle and all this stuff. How we've learned how to fly, all this stuff. There's a bunch of these crazy little nonsense. Then there's some story, let's see, we got the infamous one, the Roswell one, where it was an air balloon, supposedly, flying disc, air balloon, claiming that it was a weather balloon for all this stuff. And then there was, let's see, there was another one, good one. I definitely did not read up.
You're good.
Oh, god damn it. There's supposedly alien bodies and actual live aliens kept in Area 51. Reason why they got that place locked down tighter than anything.
Speaking of Area 51, do you guys remember? And I vividly remember when this was, because it was right around the time that I had my open heart surgery in 2019. Do you guys remember the raid Area 51, They Can't Stop Us All movement?
Yeah, I remember that.
And the Naruto runners that were gonna invade it.
Yes.
That certainly helped me stay positive through the scary thing that is open heart surgery in your fucking 20s. But yeah, that made Minnesota an interesting trip. But yeah, I do want to contribute a little to this one. So I will probably go ahead and say that for the most part, in my personal opinion, UFO alien conspiracy theories are bullshit. A lot of it, while it's not necessarily easy, and hear me out, I'm not going the complete direction.
We cannot be the only planet with life.
Right, and that's something I was going to touch on. So I don't think intelligent life has discovered our planet. Our planet.
How do you explain the pyramids? There is no way in hell that those
horrendous slave labor.
Yeah, it's
yes,
a lot of slaves.
But so here's the way I look at
another
it.
thing, you can pull it up. Literally, all the pyramids pretty much all line up with each other.
Right.
Yes.
I mean, they did
Egyptian time.
Math existed then.
Right. And they
go back
just
to
like
our
Native
flat
Americans,
Earth
they
thing.
made symbols out of like out
Then
here mounds and other stuff, just for their significance, their religious significance, whatever the case may be.
Yeah. Then you got Egyptian hieroglyphs that have been found to have some depictions of a flying object in the air. Metal object flying around like a plane or stuff like that. How do you explain that?
I mean, human perception is an interesting thing. I'm not saying it's impossible. Don't get me wrong.
Yes.
Human perception is an interesting thing, and a lot of the times we do like to think the most outlandish things. Now, let me go ahead and lay the basis here. In the seemingly infinite universe we live in, I can almost assure you, somewhere else, even if it's not quite what we would think of it as, life exists somewhere. Could be intelligent like our species, could be just single-celled organisms. Life exists somewhere else. In an infinitely huge universe with, billions and billions of galaxies and stars and solar systems and whatnot, life exists somewhere. I find it hard to believe that it exists in our solar system without it. Like, the only way that could be possible, it wouldn't be in our little solar system, because I mean the only inhabitable planet, at least by our life standard, is clearly Earth. Without it being such a further advanced species that they've got, honestly, at the minimum, intergalactic travel, I don't see another life having visited our planet. I'm not denying it's possible, and I certainly agree there's life out there. I just don't know how far out there it would be, because we observe our viewable universe all the time and have yet to find anything that the government admits to, at least. You know, that's the whole point of the conspiracy theories. We're
Yeah.
saying the government is bullshitting us on a lot of it. But I mean, there's even independent people that are not part of the government that have yet to find anything outside of some like tabloid-esque stories. So I don't know. I certainly do believe in life, and I will respect anyone's opinion, because like I said, I certainly can't disprove Earth has been visited by anything. I just feel that we've yet to come across said life that exists somewhere in the ever-expanding giant universe we live in.
Right. Like, to add on to you know, and my part of this, explaining, like, I'm gonna get hate from this, but I don't believe it until I see it for the life. Like, there is a possibility, like you were saying, there is a possibility, but I'm not gonna believe it until I see it, and that's just, from my perspective. And like, there could be. I believe it currently? Definitely not. But who knows? Who knows what'll happen?
Like, I believe it's out there because we have an infinitely huge observable universe, and we can only see close enough to see life within our own solar system. So clearly, nothing would
Yeah.
be like
Right.
guaranteed
That's why I'm
beyond that.
saying, like, we haven't really seen it.
Right.
So, like, my first thought to that is like, well, I'm not gonna believe it because I want to see it before I can, believe
I'm not trying to
what
challenge
it.
your beliefs, but you can't see gravity, and yet you believe in gravity, no?
Right, but
Also,
that's a
back,
scientific
back,
thing.
back to the flat earthers. A lot of them don't believe in gravity, and they say we're on a ball and we would fall off of it.
Yep.
And clearly we can't, because they don't understand the concept of gravity. But anyways, let's not go back to that, because again, I could make a whole podcast episode out of reading on flat earthers.
We
Yeah.
could make a whole episode on almost all of this. I
You
think
aren't
every single one
kidding.
of these, except for the reptilian one, I think would make an entire full episode.
Probably. But we don't want to become a conspiracy podcast.
Right, right.
People will be looking
Throw
at
the
us like,
max
bro, are
I'm
you
just
serious?
saying.
Are you crazy?
I'm just
That's
saying.
the thing.
You said the thing.
Oh
Well,
my god,
does anybody else?
bro, are you serious?
You haven't
said
really
the
talked about the
thing.
aliens too much. Do you have anything you want to interject on this one before we move along?
I think you're full
Did you
of
say
horse
me?
shit.
I don't
Yeah.
know what you said.
I think you're full.
Well, I mean, I definitely believe there's things out there that we don't understand, and it's highly possible. I mean, it's highly probable that if aliens did contact us, the government would keep it from us. I mean, I would think they would. But as far as like Roswell, I'm pretty sure there's nothing there. How many years of people literally live outside those gates with cameras and other shit. And some say they've seen shit, which I mean a lot of them just get high and sit out there and daydream too, but
Huh.
I'm sure we would have seen something out there. More concrete evidence, but I mean it's highly possible that we could have contacted
Yeah.
other alien life. I mean, I don't believe that they're in any way, shape, or form responsible for any of our technological advancements
Well, that's
on
right.
Earth.
Kind
But
of agree and disagree.
And
I
you
mean,
know,
they would have some crazy shit that we couldn't duplicate on our planet more
assu-
than
Yeah,
they
yeah,
right.
is
I was
what
about to
I
say,
would
yeah.
think.
assuming they could contact our planet, because we know they're not local, clearly, because we
Yeah.
can see our observable universe. Our nearest terrestrial body is the fucking moon, and it's like 238,000 miles away or something like that. I want to say it's about 238, 230 something. Anyways, that's a lot of distance, and everything else just gets exponentially further from our planet. So, I mean, we're talking light years of travel, and
Mhm.
I mean, I'm sure everyone here understands the concept of a light year, but if anyone viewing doesn't, that means so light has a finite speed, which is insanely fast, way faster than the speed of sound. A light year is the amount of distance it takes. Like light will travel within 1 year. As fast as light travels, that's an insane amount of distance. And the fact that some of these places are several light years away from Earth, just crossing that distance, I mean, is just unless teleportation or a
Fucking
what's the word
stealth
I'm looking
bomber.
for? Well, not stealth bomber, but a mobile civilization where they're
Camouflage and shit like
continually
that.
reproducing on some sort of mobile
Oh yeah.
ship or something over generations. It's just not feasible for something to have gotten here from how far they are away, is the way I look at it.
Right.
And I did see something actually this week on
Oh?
like Twitter. People were making fun of this. It was like a New
Mhm.
York Post article, and they were trying to say that Titan, uh, Saturn's moon. I can't remember. Right?
Titan's either Jupiter or Saturn. Hang on, I'll tell you real
Yeah,
quick.
Saturn's
It'll take
moon.
me 2 seconds.
Saturn's moon.
Okay,
I found it. It's Saturn's moon.
nice.
Well, they're saying it's possible there's life on there because
Hmm.
they're the only other object in our solar system with oceans and rivers and stuff like that.
So cold out there that far
But
from the sun.
it's not water. It's literally methane
Oh,
in a liquid form. And everyone was just going in on them like, who the fuck? Like, New York Post is like usually like me more
right.
of these shit. And yeah, and they just post stupid shit.
I know, like, the
But
closest inhabitable
it
planet is Mars that we're aware of,
right.
as far as climate
And
goes.
I actually did see something maybe Venus. They might have found something on Venus that
I
says they
think the
might have
biggest
had
thing
life
with
at one
Venus
point.
was, didn't Venus have so much toxic shit on it?
Right.
And oddly enough, Venus is the hottest planet in our solar system, even though it's the second. You would think Mercury, the closest to the sun,
Yeah,
was, but I think Venus
because
had
it
to do
actually
with.
has like a atmosphere and Mercury
Right,
doesn't. Mercury's
so.
just a rock.
Hear
Mhm.
me out. Hear me out. There was once life on Venus, but they were so dumb. Boom.
I mean, they just burned up if it ever existed because
They
it's
were just
fucking
too
hot.
close.
Well, maybe. All right. Maybe this. This is just some stupid fucking thing I'm just pulling out of my
Hey,
ass.
we're hearing you out.
What if Mars was actually Earth, and then they destroyed that planet and all got on spaceships and came to what we know now as Earth here, and populated it and is starting to work their way through, you know,
Well, I
killing
find
our
that
planet.
one
It's possible.
unlikely. I would say that is probably more probable than others because, we're already on the track to destroy our current planet. So,
I mean, and we're purposely looking for another planet to inhabit.
right. I'm just saying,
Just
NASA,
Mars.
SpaceX, hear me out. I'm not your astronaut shape, but send
Elon
me
Musk.
to
Send me to
fucking
Mars.
Mars with nothing more than a spacesuit, a spork, and a dream, and I will terraform that planet by hand. Send me to
Amen, buddy.
space!
Amen.
Anyways. I, let's go ahead and wrap that one up and come full circle to our final one, and probably one everyone is very familiar with. David, buddy, do you want to lead us in on your cousin?
Right.
Hold on.
Yes.
I should do this.
Yes, I
He's gonna do the pose.
Yes. So, this is honestly one of the theories that I probably actually am going to have to say I can agree with this one. Like believe in this one. But
Yeah, I can too.
I can believe in this one. I don't, I'm not a believer in evolution, and that's not like a side different thing. That's a different theory in general. But like I do believe though that apes can be able to, adjust to human life like that. And it's also known that Bigfoot's also just not just an ape, it's an overgrown ape. And I also can believe that it's possibly a hairy human. But there's multiple sightings of Bigfoot.
Sorry,
in multiple
guys.
states. And but it's been seen all over, like right here. It's like it says in Oregon, and I also read something on I think Missouri or Mississippi.
And
also.
Arkansas, I'll come
It's
to that.
all
I can
over
believe
North
it.
America.
Arkansas has a
Right.
lot of Bigfoot lore.
Asia,
Like a lot of the woodland areas in the America. Like people have seen these things and seen like overgrown gorillas. Like I read a story on this page that was talking about a guy who was just hunting and he
Right.
saw this weird looking thing in the scope of his rifle, and he said he didn't want to shoot because it looked more human than it did animal. And at which I would have took my chances on that one.
fuck that! I would have shot the son of a bitch.
Me too. I would have been like that.
God.
Oh yes.
We're gonna solve this right here and now. I'm gonna shoot him, and we're gonna do the test.
Goes up. It was a man in a monkey suit all along. Fuck. Well, time to dig a hole.
Never speak of this again.
So,
But
like
yeah,
you said, it's
I definitely think I do believe in Bigfoot.
I will say I don't believe in Bigfoot per se as its own unique species, and hear me out on this. Now, undiscovered species in our ocean is a completely different story because, like, clearly we've barely explored any of the ocean, and there's no telling what else is down there.
And we've barely explored a lot of our forests, our national forests. A lot of it has not been explored yet.
Most of the new species we find, though, are like insects and shit like that. I don't doubt people have sighted things. Here's the way I look at it. So, I'm from Arkansas. Bigfoot lore runs rampant here. There's a town in South Arkansas, Falk, where they have the Falk monster, which is really just their Falk you too, bud. Anyways, really just their rendition of Bigfoot. They've got statues of it. My town that I live in has a Bigfoot Hunters Association that meets and has like club meetings. I mean, like clearly it runs deep in this area. Photos were taken, whether they were staged or not. Some of them you could even say weren't staged. How can I explain it? I'm not sure. Some of the photos I might say would be some of my family getting caught after skinny dipping because we're all a bunch of big hairy man apes anyways. But I'm not going to say I can explain it. I find it so crazy that we haven't caught, dead or alive, the elusive Bigfoot in all the time that we've had since the sight, because the sightings have been going on for. I mean, when was the first? Like, obviously the history goes forever, but
it has gone back ever since the Native Americans. There's cave paintings of big hairy humanoid figures next to fucking just little small figures of actual normal people.
So
it's one of those things. It's like pretty much like the whole UFO thing almost. It's
And I'm going to touch back on something. And David, this isn't to discredit you. Everyone's entitled to their own thing. I very much do believe in evolution. You can believe in creation and
All right.
evolution because things
I
evolve.
believe in both.
Right,
God created
that's
life, and life evolved. That's how I see
right,
it.
and that's kind of how I look at things too. I would say some historical things could be different branches of evolution or different stages of evolved humanity for super ancient civilizations, but like I said, I can't really explain modern stuff unless it's someone's hairy
Nah.
cousin coming back from a skinny dipping trying to dry out. So, we'll
Sorry.
Redneck's like, fuck, I knew that picture would go viral.
Damn it.
At least, you let them catch your profile so they didn't have to see your dongle,
Pain.
your peen. So, Kai's, Redneck, do either of y'all, I know Redneck's interjected some. Kai's, do you have anything you want to add to the Bigfoot story or anything you'd like to talk about? Share your opinion
I mean, I'm
and
kind of
whatnot?
along the same lines as you on it. There may have been a creature kind of like Bigfoot at one point.
I mean, there was back in
I
the...
would
was called the
assume it's either died out by
Gigantopithecus.
now or we would have found it.
And,
Like it could be a very extremely rare
Mhm.
creature,
right.
But
you never
Like this
know.
thing-
You never
like
know.
This thing on here, it says that there was like groups of them, and they called it the family, and that's what it was called. And this goes back to like what you were saying, Redneck, about the hieroglyphs,
Back in
or
the Native American
petroglyphs, whatever they're
cave
Hieroglyphs,
called.
paintings.
Yes. They had all kinds of like stuff, and it was called the family. It was tribesmen, tribespeople that were doing all these petroglyphs on the walls and
Hieroglyphs.
everything. Hieroglyphs. This says petroglyphs,
Ah, gotcha.
and they just called them hairy men.
Hairy man.
Hairy men. So like, I can believe Bigfoot because like I wouldn't mind going on the hunt for Bigfoot myself.
I'm gonna chalk it up to bad artists and my ancient
Exotic
cousins.
hunting. If I had to put it up against something, it honestly could be just an overgrown ape, that someone just saw and they were like, man, that's a big ape, I
And
need to write that
That's a
down. And they
big
just
bitch.
put it on a wall and just drew a
So,
picture of this huge ape. And they're like,
speaking
yep.
of apes in the wild, and you can't really equate this to it since so many people have claimed to have seen it everywhere, but it also, at least some of the photographs ones, could literally be an escaped ape. And the reason I say that is so where I used to hunt, someone owned like an exotic animals thing that wasn't legal, and they had like African lions and shit. And then when the feds or whoever came in to shut them down before they got there, they turned these things loose, and you could hear lions roaring out in the deer woods and shit like that. Yeah, talk about shit in your pants, by the way. So it honestly could just be an escaped monkey from somebody's personal collection, too, that just decided, hey, I'm gonna go live in the wild, fucks a little bit, procreate, and bam. American gorillas just living out in the wild.
Right. And if you need any, politics in this, even Theodore Roosevelt believed in Bigfoot.
And Theodore Roosevelt is an okay man in my books.
Yeah.
He's a great
He wrote a
American
book.
hunter.
I love Teddy. I really respect his
wrote a book.
conservationism.
And
Yes.
Hitler
in
also
the
wrote a book, Dale.
right. But
it wasn't that good.
Roosevelt wrote a book called The Wilderness Hunter,
Uh-huh.
and it talks about him
Yeah,
having
pretty
this
much all his
encounter.
hunts.
But it was an encounter, and he was being stalked, from what I'm
Right.
reading. And he didn't know what it was, but he brings up that it's brought up that this is a big part of Bigfoot lore.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna believe it.
Hey, you know what? There's no shame in that, bud. I mean,
And
like,
then-
literally,
It
we're
makes me want to play the game. that
And then
game that they have of it.
Oh, Dale.
That game's scary as
Oh.
fuck. This one comes and whoops your ass.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yes.
And here, this is another little tangent on the whole Bigfoot thing. And some in a lot of Native American culture,
Hmm.
they believe in it as like an evil spirit.
Interesting.
That because they used to tell, because I've got friends that are Native American, their grandparents can tell you the stories and all
Right.
this. They also, it was kind of like a folklore too, that they would they would tell their kids this to keep them in at night, so they wouldn't get lost out in
Right.
woods and stuff like that. They would make that up. Then again, like I said, also the paintings. All right, explain that. There's just so much stuff we don't know about.
It's true.
Like, we're
It's
worried
very true.
we're worried about exploring space when we hardly have ever explored our oceans. We've hardly really explored our forests. There's a large part of forests in Oregon, Montana,
Right.
all those places that have not even been touched by man.
I would certainly say I'd like to explore them all, but I do understand wanting to explore space more as you could eventually inhabit another planet. You can't necessarily re-inhabit where
Yeah,
you already live.
exactly. Yes.
But I mean, I still would certainly. I mean, the ocean both terrifies and fascinates me.
Yeah.
Like ocean where I can see and or dive, I'm fine. But I guess I have a little bit of thalassophobia. Like playing Subnautica or just the open ocean in general, looking down and not being able to see anything but the endless
Mhm.
depths. Fuck
Yeah.
that. But you
Oh,
know
yeah.
what? I think we I think we learned that conspiracy theories, opinions on them vary. You never know if it's true or not. I mean, for all we know, a reptilian Bigfoot could have crashed its UFO into the flat Earth, for crying out loud.
Oh, and then there's fucking conspiracy theories saying that Bigfoot's an alien.
Maybe so.
Yeah.
Who knows?
There is.
Bigfoot is a reptilian alien Bigfoot that flew its UFO into the flat Earth, and that's my story. I'm sticking to it.
You're just hitting them all at
Just
once.
hitting them all. But anyways,
Perfect.
let's you know, this one's a little different because we weren't sharing personal stories. Let's go
Right.
around and say which individual theory you could see being the most plausible, whether you believe in it or not.
Go ahead. Who's going first?
And then also least likely. You know what? I'll go first. I'm going to say I find the one most likely. You kind of harp more on UFOs, but I'm going to talk extraterrestrial life of some manner being the most likely. And I'm going to say least likely because it's clearly not the flat Earth. All right, so let's just go down and around. Kai's, you're up next.
I mean, I would see aliens are definitely out there somewhere. Whether or not they've reached Earth and contacted Earth, I don't know.
Right.
I'd say Bigfoot is pretty reasonable
That was my second.
at some extent.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, the sightings, the pictures, maybe just bad qualities, different things. Who knows?
Right.
But I'd say Bigfoot probably is the most likely, and the least likely is flat Earth.
Okay.
That's just some dumb shit.
David, buddy, what's your most likely and least likely?
Well, I'm gonna have to go with Bigfoot being the most likely.
Okay, that's fair. And what's your least likely?
And
Which one are you calling the most bullshit on?
I honestly, it's so hard because I'm stuck between the reptilians and the flat Earth. But I'm
Those
gonna
two
go
are
with the flat
clearly
Earth.
the.
But the reptilians could
Outliers.
also lean more in towards the UFO and
Could be an alien, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, so I call
So-
flat Earth the most bullshit, but you know,
Yeah,
we're
I'm
respecting
calling
each
flat
other's
Earth.
opinion.
I'm calling flat Earth the most.
Okay,
Yeah, most definitely.
Alright, and finally, Redneck Buddy, let's close it out.
Ooh, all right. Well, two possibles. I'm gonna stick with these two.
Okay.
There's the UFO conspiracy, the
Sure.
UFOs, and Bigfoot, which also leans into the reptilian and to the UFOs. I'll keep that there, but I absolutely 100% agree with y'all on the flat Earth theory. That is about the most dumbest shit I've ever heard. And anyone that listens to this disagrees, at me.
A literal dookie stain on David's mattress.
Yeah.
Oh, bro. I was
I'm waiting
sitting
for
right
David
next
to
to my
I'm waiting for
mattress, and I was
David
like,
to go.
wait a minute.
Wait a
He
minute.
looks over. Did I shit the bed?
I'm literally like looking at my bed too. As soon
Anyways,
as you said that.
guys,
Does,
let's
Poopy.
is that poopy? Let's wrap this one up. Once again, if you haven't, be sure to subscribe to us, leave us a comment, let us know how we're doing, let us know any crazy conspiracy theories you may believe in, or some that you think are absolute bullshit. Be sure to give us a like if you liked the video. Follow us on Spotify if this has made it to Spotify by now. One final time, this is the Base Podcast, coming from Redneck, Kais, David, and Crossan. We are out. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you and goodbye.